Okay guys and girls, I've been asked to do this one by a few people, and I said to Trace Lighting that I was going to do it, try and help them out a little bit as well. This is an instructional video for Trace Lighting's Limelight Verse. Now, don't let this little box here put you off. Just to give you a clue as the size of the box, that's it. Size of my hand there. In this little box is a very powerful DMX lighting tool, software driven for PC or Mac. What I'll do at the end of each video is leave you with a little bit of video footage of Limelight Verse in action, so that you can see exactly what the software is capable of and more. Take a look inside the box. Unfortunately, I've had this one open so that I can plug in, play about, and I also used it on a show last weekend for the first time, and to be honest with you, I wouldn't change this for the world. Absolutely fantastic. But we've already done a big wow, this is Trace Lighting and this is Limelight on the Plaza Leeds video, so this is purely going to be an instructional one. If we open the box up, like I said, unfortunately I've had this one open. This fella here is cable tied up nicely and comes all presentable. I've just rolled it up to put it back in the box to store it. On there is the 3-pin XLR or DMX. See if we can get that's better, you can see it. 3-pin female XLR going to a USB with a clever bit of circuitry in there, which is not only the USB but it's also the dongle that unlocks the software for you. As you can see, it's quite a thick, heavy duty cable that comes on there. No noise on the line whatsoever. I've had this on, I think it worked out around about 100 meters of DMX passing through lighting, and with a terminator on the end, again absolutely no noise on the line whatsoever, no interference, not a problem there. Also in the box you get this fella here, which is the installation software and a quick guide of installation. Here we go, Windows, it's the drivers and the software. Have a quick read of that. Well, it's very straightforward. It's open it up, take your disc. One thing to remember is don't get carried away. Do not plug your USB in until you've put the disc in and you've loaded the software. As you can see from my lighting PC or my lighting laptop, over there in the corner there's Limelight's shortcut, because I've already installed it and popped it on the desktop. Okay then, next thing you need to do once you've installed the software is take the USB end, obviously, and stick it in to a USB port. You can see it flicker. There we go. Power lights on. Onto our desktop. We go up, whoop, there we go, to see if I can get a better focus on that. You can just see it is Limelight's shortcut on the desktop. Double click it and you get on here. It says do you want to allow the following program, there we go, from an unknown publisher to make changes to this computer. Well, yes we do, due to the fact that we know it's Limelight. Unfortunately it's Windows 7 that I'm running on this computer, so we just click it. When you hit Limelight, it asks you, do you want to start a new show, open the last show that I worked on, which was the wedding last Saturday, or open another existing show. If you open another existing show, it goes to the directory where all your shows are stored. Just shut that one. If you open that show, it opens up ready on the page on the desktop for you to run. But what we want to do is start a new show, so we click on there. Next thing it asks me is, do you want to open in full mode? Well, unfortunately we can't open in full mode on this one. It is restricted ever so slightly because we're using Limelight Verse, which is the cheaper version. And here are the differences. Busking mode, if I highlight that for you, you can see provides features for live operation, including extended Submaster features and chase generators, etc. Or do we want provides features, which is theatre mode, provides features for programmed queue operation. That's basically queue stacking and queue listing, and it runs on a timeline. Well, as a DJ, what we want to do is busking mode, so we can grab hold of it and use it live. So if we hit it like that, it then asks you to name the show. So we'll call this tutorial, so we know what we're doing, and you just click the save like that. Limelight opens up for you and you're met with another piece. This is the page with everything on. We'll explain all these icons across the top for you in a minute, but the first thing it says, a new show has been created. Do you want to configure fixtures for the show now? Well, if you don't, unfortunately you can't do anything with it. So yes, we'll configure the fixtures. That loads the fixture library up like that. Now on the fixture library, if your fixtures aren't in the library, believe me, if you contact Chris by email, he will create the fixtures for you. You can turn them around in around about 24 hours. Fantastic fella, and to be honest with you, he usually turns them around quicker than 24 hours. He just brags 24 hours for some of the harder ones. So let's have a look. What have we got on here? Let's pick a couple of my fixtures. We'll open American DJ and the UFO. We'll add that. Now when you click add, it asks you, do you want to enter the address for each fixture, enter the address for the first fixture only, or automatically address on the universe. Right, now this is the address you have to give to your fixture so that it responds to Limelight. Usually on digital display or on slightly older fixtures, dip switches on the side. You remember on and off, and you've got dip switch 1 to 9 usually. Each one's a 1 and a 0, and you have to work out the dreaded address. Or you can use the digital display ones where you give it the address. Well, what we're going to do, since this is a fresh show, we're going to tell it to address, auto address on the universe, which means that fixture will start at address number 1. I happen to know that the UFO is a 14 channel fixture, so when we put the next fixture on, it will start and address at channel 15. We're going to take Chevet, the Q spot, and we'll add. And it says how many of the fixtures do you want to add. Well, we're just going to add 1 for now, so that you guys and girls can see what's going on, and auto address that one. And back over to this side, so there are quite a lot of the big names on there as well. NJD, Cam, that's one of mine that was created for me, Kumar, Claypacky, Robe, Showtek's in there, Sound Lab, Martin was in there somewhere. Yep, there we go, Martin. Right, we'll take the Sound Lab and we'll add their scanner as well. And if we go up and hit add, that just gives us 3 fixtures to give you an idea of what's going on. And we're auto addressing that one. Right, Next thing you want to do is go down to here and patch universe like that, and what it does is it says detected interfaces, limelight element, or limelight verse as it's known, which is this little guy down here. You can just see the red and the green LED have lit now because limelight's open, and the green LED is a signal sending. And you want to patch it to limelight universe 1. You can run as many of these limelight universes as you've got dongles. So if you need to run more than 512 channels, you just add another dongle at the price at the time. I don't usually add prices to anything because the videos get old and the prices change. At the moment we're on the 28th of June 2011, and it's priced at £70 posted, which is a fantastic price, to be honest with you, for a piece of software like this. Anyway, once we've done that, highlight, highlight and assign. There we go, that's your universe patched. Click OK and it shuts down. We're finished with the fixtures, and it's in the fixture manager, adding fixtures to the program, and we click OK again, and you're met with a page for the fixtures. Now, because these were made for me, the Q-spot and the UFO, they were made very quickly, so there isn't a picture of either, but there is a picture of the SoundLab scanner. What we'll do is, if I go to, if you need to add more fixtures to your show, you go to show, whoops, too far, manage fixtures. Bear in mind I'm trying to do this from behind the camera. Manage fixtures, and the add fixtures page comes up. Another one that was made for me but wasn't made in such a hurry is the Cam Blue Mover laser. We add that, and again what we'll do this time, just to make things different, is we want to manually enter the address for that fixture. So if we click OK, I happen to know that that's on channel 100, or starts at channel 100 on my universe. So you see this box pops up, fixture details. We're going to tell it it's channel 100, and we've got the option to invert the X and Y axis, which means instead of it going that way, it'll go that way when you tell it, and instead of it going that way, if you invert the X axis, it'll go that way. And you can even swap them over just to confuse yourself, so that left is up and down is right, if you understand that one. Anyway, we'll leave those unticked because we don't want to confuse ourselves or play about, and we'll just click done. There we go, that's added. All is good. You'll see this one here, can't see the fixture you need. If you do click on that, that says request a fixture file, fill in the form below, and it'll send it off for Chris to make you a fixture up, or you can have a go at making your own fixture, but believe me, that's hard. I had a quick go at trying to make a straight RGB fixture and I struggled. Therefore, I got on the phone rather quickly, spoke to my good friend Chris, and lo and behold, once again, within hours he got me a fixture emailed over. Anyway, there you go, you can see the blue mover, the cam. What we're going to do is, we're going to work on, at the moment, we'll go for the scanner, because that's nice and easy. So what you do is, if you want to highlight, if you want to work on a group of fixtures, you grab a box like that and you highlight the group of fixtures and it'll work on the whole lot for you. But in this case we just want to work on the scanner. Then we go over, don't close that page, just shrink it so that it sits on the bottom like that. And what do we want to do to this fixture? Well, we know that the scanner has got gobo attributes to it, because we can change the gobo, which is up that one there, gobo attributes, and if I click it, it offers me a slider to change the gobos or speed up and slow down the gobo scroll so that it just scrolls through them all. If we go to intensity attributes, boom, you've got close shutter, strobe shutter, or the dimmer on the shutter, you'd open it all the way up to have it on, or full, or dim it down slightly. Strobe, the further up the bar, the faster it strobes. The lower down the bar, obviously, the less faster it strobes, and the less chance you have of somebody having an epileptic fit. You've got colour attribute, just trying to get the focus back for you. That does say colour attributes. It's very hard up against a bright screen, but if I hit that, there we go, colour attributes, and that allows me, the further up the slider you go, it swaps colour, or again, you can scroll through all the colours faster and slower, and that'll just scroll through for you. But why do I call this a powerful piece of software? Well, that's because you've then got things like this. What we need to do is we go to the playback menu, drop down, we want to open a sub-key panel, and also open a Submaster panel. A Submaster panel looks like the Submaster on a lighting desk. What we do is, once we've designed a lighting section for it, we can put it onto one of these faders. If we grab the fader, the further you push the fader up, usually the brighter the fixture gets, and it carries on doing whatever you've told it to on that Submaster. We'll show you in a second what we mean. But you can actually alter that Submaster by right clicking, and you've got set fader control attributes, i.e. if I go in, you can link it to a hotkey so that you can use one of the keys on the keyboard. I've got a habit of using the number keys to represent these over here, which I'll explain in a second. Or you can use a number key to represent the fader. The longer you hold your finger on it, the further up the fader goes. Let go and the fader comes back down. You can add it as fade timing, which means the fader is either instant or it fades up and fades down slowly. And you've got the timing source, which is either an external timing source, i.e. BPM from music fed into the computer from the booth out on your mixer, or you can use internal timing, which in turn offers you tap options for the BPM, etc. Anyway, back to that after. And if you also go to the select fader attributes, you can alter the fader attributes to alter the speed of the light, the colour of the light, the colour scrolling of the light, the gobo of the light, the gobo scrolling of the light, blah 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 blah. You get the idea. You can basically set that fader. The further up you push it, the more it does something. It also turns the light on to the shape that you have told it to produce. On these keys over here, these are what they call sub keys. You can see at the moment they all say empty because I've got nothing loaded onto them, but these are the ones I use more than anything. Just move the Submasters out the way, and the sub keys I use more than anything to load actual shapes onto and operations onto, which means if I've loaded up a light making a figure of 8 shape, I can hit that key, it will do that for me. I can then on another one load up the colour of the light, or the chase of colours of the light, or even the chase of gobos of the light, all in one key. Hit that and off it goes. If I get bored of that or it doesn't match the music, I can hit a different shape, say a circle and a slower circle, and again change the colour speed and the scrolling speed of the gobo to match the music that we're running. A little bit like a nightclub lighting desk, but instead of it being a piece of hardware, it's a piece of software with all the keys loaded onto it. Anyway, building the first one of these, what we want to do is go over to here, pull up shape generator, add shape gen, and it asks us what do we want to add. Do we want to add a circle, which is obviously a circle, a round thing, a ring shape? Do you want a figure of 8? Looks a little bit like a bow tie or a figure of 8 turned on its side. There is a sine line, a scan line, a sine, a linear line, a sine squared, and triangular wave. That doesn't mean you sort of wave your hand in that direction, a little bit like the Queen. No, that means you actually get a triangle or half a triangle on the floor, so that it does this. That's the shape your light will take if it didn't disappear off the screen. You get the idea. It makes that shape and then it comes back like that. Anyway, we'll go for an easy one, which is a circle. We'll take that. Map shape to, well, we want to map that to the movement of the light. You can change it to map it to the intensity, or even map it to the colour that the light changes to. Easiest thing to do though is map it to the movement of the light, and we change the colours a different way. We'll show you in a second. Okay, we then want to edit modifiers, and that is your light on the floor. Now what you do is come over here, bring up intensity attributes. I usually move that one right the way down into this corner. Bring up gobo attributes, which I then put down next to it. It's just an order I work in that keeps me from getting very confused. And then finally color attributes. If we click on color attributes over there, that opens up and I put that one there. So I always know when I'm programming, I'm in the order of color, gobo, and finally shutter over here. We want to turn the dimmer right the way up so that we could see our light when we're programming it. I haven't got a light attached, but you'll get the idea. We then want to, we've got X speed and Y speed. Well, if you want yourself a perfect circle and a constant circle, always click link so that it links the X speed and the Y speed together. You grab hold of it and we bring it down a little bit like that, which means that it's going to take, at the moment, you can just see 18.8 seconds to create that circle, to complete that circle. How big a circle we want, well, that depends on the size of the area you're trying to cover with it. If you're trying to cover a whole room, you obviously want a huge circle. If we're trying to cover just a little space on the dance floor, we want a smaller circle. And we're going to bring that one to match so that we get a perfect circle. Now, if we look over here, hang on a second, like that. That window's already open, and that is what our light spot will be doing on the floor. It'll be creating that circle. What we do is, when you open it up, it comes up as 100 points, and I usually alter it to 10, because if I just put it back to 100 and show you, if we put it on 100, what we end up with is a very messy screen. It maps out all the points this light leaves up to 100 points, and well, you can't really see what it's doing because it just keeps going round and round in circles, and we end up with a very messy screen. So if you go to set number of points, take a 0 off the end for 10, hit return, and then it'll only plot 10 points. You can see it following itself round. Now that will cause our circle, our light, to create a circle on the floor. Once you've got the shape that you want, like that, if we then go up to save state, hit save state, and it says name that state, and this is very important. When you name the state, we'll call that scanner circle, like that, and we go to save and put on Submaster. When we go to save and put on Submaster, if we move that one out of the way, you can see our Submasters are flashing. Where do I want to add it to? And so are our sub keys. I'm going to add it to that one there, like that. You can see it turn red, and it says scanner circle in there. If I click it, that would turn the light on, and it also tells you, it goes green to tell you that it's on, like that. Save, and we'll add it next to the scanner circle there on the Submaster, and you'll see when I click it, up comes the shape gem. Gone. Turn it on, and it shows you the shape. What we'll do though is we'll move that now just to save confusion. Gone. Poof. Now here are our different attributes. The brightness one slightly different on a Mac. We can have shutter closed, shutter fully open. We can make the shutter strobe, faster and slower, or we can pulse it slightly open and shut. We can have it on a random strobe, which makes it fast, slow, slow, fast, fast, slow, 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 fast, fast, slow of its own accord. And we can speed up how often it changes that. So what we'll do is we'll just have our shutter fully open. We can select the colour now on here, and we'll go for a nice blue colour. And then we've got the choice of the gobos, which are in the Mac, which are these 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and open, which are the standard gobos. And I think that nice propeller ones there. You can add these in the fixture generator at a later date to any of them that you do. I always leave them open because I change my gobos that often. So once we've selected a blue propeller with the shutter completely open, and if again we hit save state, up at the top we go to the same window again, and the state we'll call that one is blue prop, so as we know what it is, and that'll change it to a blue propeller, and we'll save that one onto the Submaster there like that. So if I press blue propeller, you'll see all of these jump in, and that goes to the propeller, blue, and the shutter open, turn it off again, and they all go back. Once again, blue propeller, click it, and you can see it all come on, and your light will just put a blue propeller for you wherever it's aimed. And then if we hit Mac circle like that, we can make a circle out of it, and it will quite happily tell the light then to make the circle for you. So far we have made a state or a sub key telling the light to make a circle, and we've made a state or a sub key telling the light to be a blue circle. I usually save all my shapes at the top of the sub keys, and all my colours and gobos at the bottom of the sub key. The next thing you'll be asking me is, well, what if I wanted to change in order from a blue propeller to a red line to a purple squirrel to a plain open colour, etc, etc, etc. That's done in the Chase Wizard, which, if we look up here, editors, and it says Q editor, which we can't use and aren't using, Q list editor, which is slightly lighter again because we can't use it and we don't want to use it in busking mode. We've got manual Chase Wizard and auto Chase Wizard. That'll be done with the manual Chase Wizard, sorry, which looks a little bit like that when you open it up, but we're going to cover that for you in the next video. Practice.
Dreaming